Hi. So it's been a while since I've done a tarot reading, and I am feeling the need to express a message. I am coming on at a time when I am feeling vulnerable because I don't have on any makeup, and the space behind me is a total wreck. And I really don't even know how to form coherent thoughts right now, but I'm going to do my best because I'm going to trust that there is a message in here for myself or someone else. So without further ado, we'll get started. So right now I am shuffling a deck called the Fairy Tarot. And 2 cards just came out, so I'll go with those. And admittedly, I am not super familiar with this deck, which is part of the reason I chose to use it, so that I can start learning its energy. So I'm going to have to look at the guidebook to even tell you what these cards mean. But sort of without looking at the guidebook, of course I'm going to be interrupted. So before I had to step away, we had just drawn 2 cards from the Fairy Tarot deck. And I've since found out that this one corresponds to the Magician in the regular tarot deck. And this one is kind of its own thing. It's the Leaves Suite. No, that's not right. The Leaves Suit. Sorry. The Leaf. Maybe my brain will form words and thoughts so that I can continue this. This is the Suit of Leaves, and I'm assuming that this is the king, although I'm not super sure because the book is not very helpful. But that's okay because tarot is all about using your intuition anyway. So I'm going to be doing that with this one first. So there's a number 1 on it is the very first thing that I notice. And I know that in numerology, number 1 is all about new beginnings. I also know from previous knowledge of tarot or the tarot or potato, however you want to pronounce it, that the Magician is also about new beginnings and manifestations. So I'm going to assume that this card is also about that. There is a little lamb looking quite naive, which is common for someone who is just beginning a new journey. You don't know what lies ahead, and you don't know how the journey is going to change you. You can only hope for the best. And I see that there is a heart on this card in close proximity to the little sleeve. So this could also be a card about wearing one's heart on one's sleeve, and the naivety that comes along with living such a way. Other things I notice about this card is the green background, so the heart chakra and my practice of esoteric stuff. And there's a gigantic heart. So again, another message about the heart. Maybe being also open with your heart. I'll be interested to find out what the banner at the top of this means. I'm assuming it's Latin, but I don't want to make any assumptions because I don't know. Okay, and then like there's the kind of, I guess, an Elizabethan collar. So kind of also is calling up a little bit of Shakespearean vibes. Maybe Shakespeare is a synchronicity for someone. Maybe some of Shakespeare's love stories. Are there any Shakespeare love stories that have a lamb in them? I don't know. All right, so let's read the book. Oh, so other colors too, obviously red, the root chakra, white for the crown chakra, and the lighting in here isn't really super great. So I can't tell if that is black or purple in the jacket. If it's black, then that means it will be the chakra that's 12 inches below your feet, the earth chakra, or the chakra that connects you to the earth, the one that has all of your ancestral DNA, or your ancestral lineage is tied up in that particular chakra. And then there's the yellow on the little coattails, so the solar plexus chakra. So yeah, maybe those are significant for you. But now I will read the book. So the magician, the great wizard, represents enterprising spirit, ability, cleverness, and diplomacy. Always in every enterprise he engaged, he rejected suggestions and prejudices. So that's that. I'll be interested to see what the meaning of the second card is in relation to that one, because as you may or may not know, every tarot reading is like kind of telling a story about the state of your subconsciousness. So yeah, we'll see what story wants to unfold here. But for now, I'm going to move on to the second card because I think it will give the first card a little bit more meaning. Again, this is the suit of leaves, and I am assuming that this is a king, just because of the crown and scepter. First impressions, there is the green again, for the heart chakra, and also the blue and indigo, which for me is kind of the throat chakra moving kind of into the third eye. In my practice, the third eye is violet and the crown chakra is white. Some people do not subscribe to that belief, and that's okay. But for me, I like for things to be the way that I like them. So for me, when I close my eyes and I see my third eye, it is violet. So that is why I use violet for my third eye, but you might use indigo. So either way, whatever system you associate the color blue or indigo with, it can either be your throat chakra or your third eye chakra. There went my light. But I think what is more important about this is that there's this gradient in color, which means the energy is kind of rising. How else might I be able to put this? The energy is integrating, maybe. The energy from your heart is mixing with the energy from your throat and your third eye, or third eye, whichever one you want to use. Also, the little expression on the fairy's face is quite happy, so I get a good feeling about this card in terms of its energy. Also, like most fairies, he looks a little bit mischievous. So I'll be interested to see what the book has to say about this. Oh, and there's a little bit of yellow in the banner attached to the swing. So solar plexus chakra again. And in his crown, the golden crown and the golden scepter. So I'm going to assume that, based on previous knowledge of tarot, that this is a completion of some kind of energy. I am not sure which suit of tarot the leaves relate to, but we're going to soon find out when I read the book. I'm going to guess that it might be like earth energy, maybe. If not, air energy. And also, I just noticed the green and the blue are representing earth and air energy. So let's find out together what we're looking at. Okay. The leaves suit. Leaves are for fairies, signs of thoughts. Okay, so air. This one is relating to swords, I think. Okay, so signs of thoughts and intellectual gifts, but meanwhile, it is also the sign of existential difficulties due to inner crises. It is linked to the traditional sword suit. The king. Okay, this card represents a cultivated and wise man whom it is possible to address for advice. More generally, it is the symbol of cleverness and activity. Okay, so the two of these together. I don't know yet. We're going to draw some more cards to clarify from another deck, because I enjoy having my mind boggled. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. So the other day, I was cutting my sleeves off my shirt, as I do, because I can't stand sleeves on shirts. And I didn't cut it correctly. And I refuse to throw this shirt away. So if you see me walking around downtown with a safety pin on my shirt, I don't know. So anyway, I'm shuffling the unicorns deck. This is why I normally close my eyes when I'm channeling, because I tend to get a little bit distracted and unable to focus on what I'm meant to be doing. I'm getting a clarifying card, and this particular card, while I'm shuffling, will not go back in the deck, so that's usually my cue to take it, because it doesn't want to be with the others. So 0:00 time, number 16, which in numerology goes to 7. 1 plus 6 is 7. Let's also look at the time on the clock. I'm going to do my best. Okay. I'm going to guess that it's 11:07 or 8. Not great with these kind of clocks. Also, I am noticing colors, the gray and the yellow. So the gray for me is, again, referring to that chakra that's 12 inches below your feet. The Earth Star chakra. I could not think of that word to save my life. And then yellow again for the solar plexus chakra. This unicorn is a mechanical unicorn. So the element of metal, if that is a synchronicity for you, could be important. There is a fairy on this card, so fairies continue to be a theme. And I just saw the shadow of the big mushroom in the back. So fairies are associated with the air element. And mushrooms, again, are very much earth elements. And then we've got this new element of metal coming in, which kind of pulls in a little bit of an Eastern flair. Okay. I also feel like there's the juxtaposition of old and new going on with this. Because if you look at the clock, it's got the Roman numerals, and everything else is about the unicorn seems kind of newfangled, kind of a steampunk vibe. Maybe steampunk is your thing. Okay, so let's get into it and see what it says. Not a clock. Time. I have to scroll to the English translations because this book has translations in many languages, which is one thing I love about this publishing company for tarot cards. All right, so time, not a clock. Transformation, talking about transformation. Time, ticking on, the powerful force that leads from sunrise till dawn. Some stare at the hands of the clock and say, I can't wait to be done. Others say time flies. It always seems shorter when you're having fun. But regardless of it bringing smiles or frowns, here we witness real power as its hands spin around. It is a constant, the great wheel, the great beginning and stop, and in this moment of appreciation appears the great unicorn clock. There is magic in every second. Okay, so here's an affirmation that goes along with this insight. I am a time traveler, brave and strong. I appreciate my time with the world. So this seems to be asking you to enjoy the moment, to experience the moment, to feel the presence of time. Open your heart, and wonder and appreciation is something that I keep kind of coming back to, a part that I didn't read. So perhaps, I don't know. What is this story writing for you? All right, let's see what Rumi's got to say. Last one, last draw, and then maybe I'll be able to figure out what I meant to tell you. And I might have to close my eyes so that I can see the inside of my brain. All right, last message, last thing that we need to hear to wrap this up in a nice, neat little bow. So it doesn't want to go. So we're going to use it. The right choice. Number 29. My favorite number. My number. So 29 in numerology goes to 11. 2 plus 9 equals 11. And in my practice, you can either leave 11 as it stands, and it's got its own super magnetic manifestation power, just being left as number 11. Or you can reduce it to 2, which is all about partnership, duality, divine masculine, divine feminine, also yin yang, light shadow, polarities. Yeah, all of those things. It's a feminine number because it's an even number. So a little bit of chaos thrown in there, a little bit of going with the flow. All right, so the right choice. Instantly, I am again drawn to the black in the background. So a lot of Earth Star chakra energy going on in this reading. Also the red, obviously, for the root chakra. And pink for the maternal heart chakra. And white for the crown chakra, and a little bit of yellow for the solar plexus chakra. If you don't know about the chakras, I might be willing to do a separate thing about them, but just know that they are energy centers in your body where your memories of life and past lives, if you believe in such a thing, are stored. The root chakra is ages 0 to 7. So anything bad or amazing that might have happened to you from ages 0 to 7 is stored in that energy center in your body, and it can manifest as physical imbalances sometimes if you allow it to be blocked, or if you allow it to be in excess. That's a topic that's a lot deeper than I want to really get into right now, but yeah, I can teach about chakras at some point if that's an interest of yours. But yeah, so we're going to find out what Rumi has to say about the right choice. And kind of, so I'm getting a few things from this image. Firstly, there is kind of an inner light that's radiating out of this being. So making the choice is creating like external energy. You're exerting your willpower onto the rest of the world. If you see that it's radiating from the solar plexus, so it's your willpower going out. Also, I noticed the angel wings, which kind of leads me to believe that this is a card about your higher self kind of being an angelic force in your life to kind of guide and protect you, down the right path, the path that your soul desires to follow. So I'm going to read the book and see what it says, and then I'm going to attempt to stitch the story together for you, for myself, because I'm not getting it yet. I am out of practice with this form of divination. Okay, the right choice. Rumi's own words. Stay close to those who know about the heart. Choose the shade of a tree that is in constant bloom. Don't meander aimlessly among the herb sellers and potion vendors. Go directly to the shop that sells nothing but sweets. Don't sit waiting by every boiling pot to have your plate filled. Not every boiling pot is cooking what you want. Not every sugar cane is filled with sugar. Not every down has an up. Not every eye has vision. Not every sea contains pearls. Rumi. Within you, I recognize my most trusted friend. We go back a long way to before that moment when time began. We knew each other then, even before time was born. So I say, hello, my old and dear friend. So lovely for us to meet again. And I feel how your heart responds with a wave of love, for it is that love. That is you, my most trusted friend. On the path of love, there is not so much wrong and right in the moral sense, so much as what is wrong or right for you. The mind cannot help so much here, only the heart can speak such truths. The mind may reject it, recoil, analyze, and find all the reasons why the simple truth, the right choice of the heart, cannot possibly work and only lead to pain. That is what the mind does rather well, actually, but it doesn't mean the right choice, the heart choice, becomes incorrect. It means rather that the heart has outsmarted the mind, and the mind will need to bow to the heart, even without understanding its sometimes impenetrable mysteries. Or one can choose to stay in inner conflict, fighting against the right choice, but eventually love will prevail, and the way forward must be taken. Okay. We had the Magician, new beginnings. We had the King of Intellect, so someone who is very adept in mental endeavors. We had the clock, or we had the card about a clock, the unicorn clock, talking about enjoying the present moment, or at least noticing the present moment. And then we also have a card about making the right choice, or the heart choice. That is not necessarily something that the mind can always control. So I think in all of this, the main message is to trust the path that is unfolding before you, because your heart has led you here, whether you like to believe that or not. And you are exactly where you were meant to be. You could not have taken a wrong turn. You have only ever taken all correct, right turns to get to this moment where you are now, even in the times when it did not seem like you were taking a right turn. Even if you're not currently where you want to be in your life, you are still in the right place. And I think that sometimes when you have goals and visions of what you want your life to be, it is difficult to feel like you are not there So earlier I saw a quote about the true meaning of impatience, and the true meaning of impatience is not that how can I explain this? It's not that the life you're desiring does not exist. It is that you are not ready for it. And the pain of not being ready for the life that you desire is what creates the impatience. I can't remember the exact quote, but it was kind of in that vein of um, concept. Okay, so even if you are not where you want to be, trust the journey because it's still unfolding. It's still being created. You are still learning how to be the person who can live the life that you're desiring to live. And it's okay to be a beginner. It's okay to be green at something. It's okay to not be where you want to be because it's where you're meant to be. Maybe the pain of staying where you are is what will eventually force you to move. So I am going to try to keep this shorter than my normal readings because my mind is tired and my soul is tired. But I hope that there was a message or a synchronicity or some sort of confirmation of something that you needed to hear. I'm going to trust that there was because I felt that compelled to come on here and deliver a message. So, thank you. I hope you have a wonderful evening.